So let's talk a little bit as we wrap this show up. We always like to end on something a little bit
Of course.
fun, and this one I is like truly warming my heart. It is an AI story. It is Notion, the personal productivity company, I guess is what you'd call them. Um, uh, they've introduced what they call Notion AI, but they did it in a very unique way, and that they've introduced an animated figure. So a lot of organizations have introduced that try to personify, or what's the word? I can never say it. Amorphize, whatever.
Anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphize. Thank you. I can never say it with their AI bots to make them like a human thing. And what
Mhm.
Notion AI done is sort of the opposite. They have created this animated icon, I guess you'd call it, that looks sort of like, well, the Fast Company described it that it's like more New Yorker than Clippy. And it's like if your Clippy, was raised on martinis and cigars or something.
Uh-huh.
And it just is really cool, stylish thing that has all this sort of emotive iconography in terms of like how it changes this very simply drawn face. We're going to post a link to the article. You got to go check it out and see the little imagery of it. But while it's fun because it's like we've all made fun of Clippy and like this is sort of Clippy coming home to roost, it's also, in my opinion, very, very smart because the technology itself is just an AI assistant sitting within the Notion AI or the Notion ecosystem to give you access to intelligence with your notes. But this use of this animated icon made it transformative in terms of both how you want to interact with it. It draws you into it, but also just from a marketing perspective that it makes them stand out with an otherwise something difficult to stand out with.
Yeah, and I think we're realizing that there is this uncanny valley that as if you get too close to being human, it actually does not help your technology at the end of the day. So making something a bit simpler, a bit more perhaps video game-ish or New York New Yorker cartoon-ish emoji style is probably the right way to go. But it will be I'm always interested in seeing how AI gets accepted, and that this whole UX thing honestly has so much uh, personal preference writing on it that it's hard to predict.
It is hard to predict, and I think I don't think it's enough to if you have bad tech, it's not enough to fix anything. But I do think what's interesting is that AI, despite all of the talk, and we just were throwing around these big numbers, and I probably butchered mine, but despite all of that, AI is still really in the realm of the techies, still, right? The average user
Mhm.
still does not use AI nearly as much as you or I do. They certainly aren't thinking about it or talking about it. I talk to any of my family outside of the tech industry, and they have barely dabbled in it, if at all. Even people I know in tech have barely dabbled with it. And
Mhm.
Notion is very dramatically I mean, it's heavily used in tech, but it is used by people across every sector just for basic productivity. And now suddenly it has the potential to sort of open that door because it's made this sort of simple, friendly, inviting way because this icon or whatever you're going to call it just makes these fun faces and it just like you want to smile at it. I mean, I'm looking at this article in Fast Company and watching the little things go by and it's like, oh, it's so cute, and it just makes you want to engage. And I think that has the potential to really change things. I'm always been a big fan of design and how UX can really change things. And I think that this has some great potential.
Well, we'll see what happens because the two biggest changes in tech UX I feel like in the past few 20 some years are first we had the Google box search for the search engine, and then we had the Apple iPhone Touch. And if this friendliness makes AI more approachable, it's going to be a huge project. But then I'm the one who
We'll see.
predicted that iPhone would never defeat the BlackBerry. So I'm not the one to ask about UX.